So this is Catcher in the Rye, Chapter 19. In case you don't live in New York, the Wickers Bar is in this sort of swanky hotel, the Seton Hotel. I used to go there quite a lot, but I don't do anymore. I gradually cut it out. It's one of those places that are supposed to be very sophisticated and all, and the phonies are coming in the window. They used to have these two French babes, Tina and Janine, come out and play the piano and sing about 3 times every night. One of them played the piano, strictly lousy, and the other one sang, and most of the songs were either pretty dirty or French. The one that sang, old Janine, was always whispering into the goddamn microphone before she sang. She'd say, "And now we like to give you our impression of Voulez-vous Français. It is the story of a little French girl who comes to a big city just like New York and falls in love with a little boy from Brooklyn. We hope you like it." Then, when she was all done whispering and being cute as hell, she'd sing some dopey song, half in English and half in French, and drive all the phonies in the place mad with joy. If you sat around there long enough and heard all the phonies applauding and all, you got to hate everybody in the world. I swear, you did. The bartender was a louse too. He was a big snob. He didn't talk to you at all, hardly, unless you were a big shot or a celebrity or something. Then he was even more nauseating. If you were a big shot or a celebrity or something, then he was even more nauseating. He'd go up to you and say, with this big charming smile, like he was a hell of a swell guy if you knew him, "Well, how's Connecticut?" or "How's Florida?" It was a terrible place, I'm not kidding. I cut out going there entirely, gradually. It was pretty early when I got there. I sat down at the bar, it was pretty crowded, and had a couple of scotch and sodas before old Luce even showed up. I stood up when I ordered them so they could see how tall I was and all, and not think I was a goddamn minor. Then I watched the phonies for a while. Some guy next to me was snowing hell out of the babe he was with. He kept telling her she had aristocratic hands. That killed me. The other end of the bar was full of flits. They weren't too flitty looking. I mean, they didn't have their hair too long or anything, but you could tell they were flits anyway. Finally, old Luce showed up. Old Luce. What a guy. He was supposed to be my student advisor when I was at Wooten. The only thing he ever did, though, was give these sex talks and all late at night when there was a bunch of guys in the room. He knew quite a bit about sex, especially perverts and all. He was always telling us about a lot of creepy guys that go around having affairs with sheep, and guys that go around with girls' pants sewed in the lining of their hats and all, and flits and lesbians. Old Luce knew who every flit and lesbian in the United States was. All you had to do was mention somebody, anybody, and old Luce tell you if he was a flit or not. Sometimes it was hard to believe the people he said were flits and lesbians and all, movie actors and like that. Some of the ones he said were flits were even married, for God's sake. You'd keep saying to him, "You mean Joey Blow's a flit? Joey Blow? That big, tough guy that plays gangsters and cowboys all the time?" Old Luce'd say, "Certainly." He was always saying certainly. He said it didn't matter if a guy was married or not. He said half the married guys in the world were flits and didn't even know it. He said you could turn into one practically overnight if you had all the traits and all. He used to scare the hell out of us. I kept waiting to turn into a flit or something. The funny thing about old Luce, I used to think he was sort of flitty himself in a way. He was always saying, "Try this for size," and then he'd goose the hell out of you while you were going down the corridor. And whenever he went to the can, he always left the goddamn door open and talked to you while you were brushing your teeth or something. That stuff's sort of flitty, it really is. I've known quite a few real flits at schools and all, and they're always doing stuff like that. And that's why I always had my doubts about old Luce. He was a pretty intelligent guy, though. He really was. He never said hello or anything when he met you. The first thing he said when he sat down was that he could only stay a couple of minutes. He said he had a date. Then he ordered a dry martini. He told the bartender to make it very dry and no olive. Hey, I got a flit for you, I told him. At the end of the bar. Don't look now. I've been saving him for ya. Very funny, he said. Same old Caulfield. When are you going to grow up? I bored him a lot. I really did. He amused me, though. He was one of those big guys that sort of amused me a lot. How's your sex life? I asked him. He hated you to ask him stuff like that.